Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Thursday, May the 9th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start off by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session here for the day. The Dow Jones closed down 22.5 points. The Nasdaq closed down about 4 points, and the S&P 500 closed down 6 points. If we take a look at the breadth, we had 3,946 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 2,092 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. Therefore, breadth was in favor to the bears today, close to a 2-to-1. If we take a look at the different sectors, there was pretty much selling across the whole broad market, different sectors. Technology got hit a bit. Microsoft was down 1%. Apple was down 1.5%. The financials had some profit taking going on in the names today here. Wells Fargo down 1.5%. Bank of America down close to 0.5%. I mean, close to 1%. JP Morgan down 1.5%, just about. So there's definitely some profit taking going on today. We have to take a look at the charts and hone in on them a little bit more to see what we can have take place tomorrow. As you guys know, tomorrow's Friday. I don't really think we have any key economic data coming out tomorrow. Let's see if we take a look here. We have Ben Bernanke speaking at 2:30, and we had the Treasury budget at 2 p.m. So don't expect nothing crazy unless Ben Bernanke says, something about easing up on QE tomorrow morning, right when the market opens. But it says here he's supposed to talk at 9:30, so we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the SPY daily chart. This is the S&P 500 ETF. If you see here, you can see that if you look here, you can see that the SPY closed at 162.88. All right, we were down about 45 cents today, closing down 0.28%. You can see we still remain above these key short-term moving averages. I also went ahead and drew this little trend line for this little pivot low right here to this little minor pivot low right here, and we have this nice little trend line to work with. And you can see we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 updates in a row. Today's session we rallied. Actually, today's session we early in the morning. Let me go to a 5-minute chart here. Early in the morning we try to break past the high of yesterday. You can see they trapped some shorts, trapped some longs up there. They washed us down, and then of course you guys know they had to go back up there and try to stop all the smart people out that got short in the morning. Stop them out. They made sure they took it up well over the early morning highs that we made. Stop those people out, and then we got washed out based off of some rumor that Ben Bernanke may start easing on the QE. So just there's a lot of volatility, a lot of action. So you really want to make sure you take your trades fast, because that's just the environment that we're in. I mean, there's been plenty of times that I've seen green on my P&L the past couple of days here, and if you don't take it, oh, that's because I'm playing the short side. But if you don't take it, it just goes right back up. But today we saw a little bit of changing characteristic, because every time that we've been seeing some selling pressure in the market, and we rally, we get that selling pressure and we retrace. Go back to the 5-minute chart here, the SPY real quick. Every time we see that selling pressure in the market and we look for that little 50% retracement to sell, they buy it right back up, right? Well, today we finally had some nice selling pressure. We sold off. We retraced about 50%. We actually held, and then we moved back to the downside. So that's a little bit interesting there. And again, we had that little catalyst to help us out with that action right there. But going forward, you want to watch these key short-term moving averages, the 8, the 5, around 162, 160, 146 is the rising 8 EMA, 8 SMA. The 20-day simple moving average is down here around 159.5, right, 158.68. That's the EMA. All right, so we got some good action still in today's markets. There's definitely some opportunities here, but let's go and take a look at the Qs. The Nasdaq showed some nice relative strength today until it pulled back at the end of the session. You can see the triple Qs here. They closed down 10 cents, pretty much flat. Spiked up well over yesterday's highs and reversed and closed on the lows. I would have to say, as long as we are above 72, you should have no worries in the triple Qs. Again, the triple Qs have been the lagging index, but now they're finally starting to play catch up. So I'm pretty sure there's some buyers looking to get involved here. So we'll see. The triple Qs, they maybe try to build a high base around 72, then move higher. But if we break back below 72, we have some gap fill action down here around 71.25 or so. And then the highs that you want to watch is today's highs around 73.10. Then you want to watch at 73.50 and then 74. kind of those little half levels there. But so far, triple Qs are looking all right. They're still rising and holding above their 8 and 5 EMA, the little short-term fast-moving averages I'm using on the chart, and the 20s all the way down here with their, which is at 70.67. All right, we take a look at the IWM. The IWM did show some early morning weakness compared to the other indices. Got hit pretty hard and then recovered and made it all the way back to the highs, and then it sold off a bit more going to the close off that news. But again, still in a nice little uptrend. You know, even made a new high, new all-time high today by a couple pennies. It is a bit extended all the way from 89 though. So we had to move from 89 from, let's see, from about 3 weeks or so ago, 3.5 weeks. All right, and we came all the way from 89, and we're currently trading at 96. We're up about 7 points off those lows that we made back here in mid-April. All right, so we could get some pullback action. Again, you want to use these key moving averages as a gauge. At the same time, as long as we pull back and hold above this 94.75, 95 area, you should be in good shape. All right, now let's talk about some of the catalysts that caused the nice little selling pressure that we had today, and you would have to take a look at the triple Qs. All right, so bear with me 1 second. Let me just fix my charts up real quick. All right, so if we take a look at the catalyst to a lot of today's action, today's selling pressure that we had in the markets from the morning time for most of the session, you have to take a look at the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar, the dollar futures, they closed up 0.97%, so about 1%, closed up 80 cents. And you can see we're holding this key 82 level. We're still holding that little back test of the trend line break that we had right here. So we're holding that little back test trend line, and we actually put in a higher pivot low, a little minor higher pivot low right here. Does that mean that we're going to try to come back up to these highs? We'll have to see. But if the dollar gets some more pressure and the euro gets some more weakness, which I'll show you here shortly as well, that could cause the markets to pull in a bit. So the dollar had a nice little bounce up today. Nice little breakout candlestick right there, a long expansion candle. Now if we take a look at the euro's still holding above that support level that we tracked in the weekend video with you guys, but still in a sideways range. If we break below this 129.88 level or so, and we start holding below that level, look for the euro to get some more selling pressure. Look for the the dollar to get a nice little bounce, and look for the markets to come in. But this was a cause of a lot of the selling pressure today, because the euro did get hit pretty hard throughout the whole session. All right, along with Apple computers, if you guys take a look at Apple again, Apple was down today. Apple has been on a nice little rally all the way from 420. Those lows that we made down there to 420, all right, all the way to a high of 466.25. So Apple had a little bit of selling pressure today. Nothing too crazy though. I mean, you can see. Still, it's a nice little small range here. So nothing drastic, no big wide range candle to the downside, nothing like that. But keep an eye on Apple. You want to be careful, because we did break this key trend line right here. But what happens sometimes is they shake a stock above a key level to suck in some late participants, and then they could wash them out. But I would not be a buyer of Apple up here. You really want to wait for a pullback. That caused some of the little selling pressure that we had in the Qs. What else? Before I move on through the stocks, let me go over the VIX, the volatility index, real quick. Because the VIX did have a nice little reversal today. All right, and we did break above the highs from last week Thursday. All right. No, from last week Friday. So we did break over the past 4 trading day session highs in the VIX. However, we did not close above all those highs, but we did break above it and kind of close like right on it, around that same area. So keep an eye on that VIX. We really want to see if that's going to try to make its move back over 13.50 and a half there, and then just keep an eye on it. All right. So what else did I want to bring to you guys' attention? Gold, not really much action in gold or any of the commodities today. The gold miners, they did go positive a little bit, but then they pulled back off of their highs. All right, the gold miners did go positive a bit, but then they pulled right back off of their highs. They still have a lot of damage to do. I mean, this is just a chop fest right here, or should I say sideways chop action. All right, so I don't really see much there or any of the commodities right now. All right, now I want to take a look at crude oil. I'm not going to take a look at gold, because gold is really doing nothing. I'm going to take a look at crude oil. Look, a crude oil chart has been shaping up like it wants to make a move back up towards 98. So I want to take a look at this. All right, it's still hanging above there. As long as crude oil can stay above 94 and we consolidate in this range, I think it's going to have a chance to push up higher. Remember that triangle pattern on the weekly and the monthly chart. All right, let me zoom this back over. That triangle pattern on the weekly and monthly chart are still in play. You can see how the monthly chart is just coiling up here with resistance at 97.50. What's going to be the catalyst to break that out? Is going to be that stuff, that fiasco we have going over there in Syria, and maybe some news comes out of there that causes crude oil to break out, or maybe some crazy policy that takes place. I don't know. Just keep an eye on crude oil. All right, I do believe this thing is going to have a big move sometime by the end of the third quarter. All right, and we have to keep an eye on it, and we'll be on top of that when that does happen, if it happens. Either way, it's in a nice little tight pattern, and it's going to give you a nice trade to the top side or to the downside when it shows you the direction that it wants to break out to. All right, so what else do we want to talk about, folks? Let's go and take a look at some of the financials. They did have some pullback action today. Let's start off by taking a look at Goldman Sachs. My software is running a little bit slow today. But Goldman Sachs broke above that little key downward trend line that we were tracking right here. It needs to hold above 147.5. If we fall back below 147.5 and we start holding below that level, and then we break below 145 or so, you want to be careful because it could be a nice little bull trap that took place right here. We'll see how that plays out. Let's see, JP Morgan. Let's see what JP Morgan did today. JP Morgan was down close to 1.5%, 1.45%. Closed the session at 49. You can see we're having trouble breaking over 50 and holding above 50. We're actually having trouble breaking over 49.5 on JP Morgan. If we could break over 49.5 and hold, that would be a good sign. Let's take a look at Citigroup, because Citigroup did have a nice little move up the other day, yesterday, and this even gave back some of its action today as well. All right, closed down 69 cents. Still has the uptrend intact. So, it's not all balls to the wall short side right now. You just want to keep on gauging these financials to see how they try to carry this market, because they have been helping the market get a nice little bounce or get a nice little continuation action that we've been seeing here. Not much going on in the energy sector, but APA had a nice little move today. Let's take a look at APA real quick. Right, APA, nice little breakout over this 78 level. Nice volume. Maybe look to see if it gets some follow through tomorrow. Let's take a look at the 60-minute chart, see if it's extended, which it is. All right, so they had earnings this morning. All right, and it had a nice little move. So tomorrow this could be a stock to watch. Maybe see if it pulls back a little bit down towards 80 or so and try to pick it up on the dip. All right, but that's a decent looking energy stock right there. And what else? Let's take a look at some of these other big boy stocks. Amazon. See how Amazon traded today. Let's see. Amazon. IBM was down 0.77%. So Amazon got a nice little move higher today as well. Was not able to hold these upper levels, but we did close above this 260 level by a little bit. And we did close above the prior session highs there. All right, prior session close. So Amazon has been up 3 days in a row, 3 consecutive higher closes. This could be a trend that's going to start moving right back up towards 280. So we definitely want to keep an eye on this. Again, we've been watching these technology stocks lead the way in the market. And ever since I've told you guys about last weekend, right, about the Nasdaq breaking above this little channel that had on the daily chart. We've been getting that upper momentum, which is what usually happens when you break an upward channel that's sloped at an upward angle. All right, if you break that, it usually traps in some of the shorts and usually lines up with a key level for a breakout, and that's exactly what happened. All right, this key 28.84 in the Nasdaq futures, and now we're at 29.63. All right, but if we do pull back towards 2,900 or so on top of that little trend line from the channel, I do believe that'll be a good buying opportunity. And we'll be on top of that to let you guys know. And, we'll see if we could maybe find some option trades or some nice little swing trades to get involved in. Aside from that, folks, hope you guys had a great day. We had some decent action in the room. We caught the market to the short side in the morning via the ES short and the TZA long. We caught some action in MGM, which I put on the Facebook page. If you want to check out the Facebook page, you can go to Wall Street Trading. You'll be able to find that. We talked about the MGM over 15 that ran up a nice 30 cents to 15.30. Nice little calculated trade that made sense off of the strength on the weekly chart. Actually, let's go ahead and bring that up real quick, then I'll end the video. I'll end the video out with that stock right there, MGM. They got upgraded this morning. I've been watching the stock for the fact that, like I said, the weekly chart looks pretty good. All right, it broke out last week out of this nice consolidation that it's been having for the past 3 months or so, 4 months. All right, so it has a breakout on the weekly. Nice extension move today. We'll be looking for this to be a stock that continues to have some buyers in it as long as it holds above 1350. Bible pullbacks are recommended. All right. And that's about it, folks. Have a great night. Catch you guys in the war room tomorrow. Be there, be square. To get access to the chat room, you want to go to wallstreettrading.com. Fill out the form on the right-hand side. Don't worry, you don't have to put no credit card information. It's just simple, your name, first name, last name, email address, and all of the good stuff. And that's about it. Have a good night, folks. Cheers.